Imagine this, a live broadcast, millions tuned in, and suddenly the sports world is flipped upside down. Deion Sanders' Coach Prime himself drops a bombshell on the Pat McAfee show, boldly declaring that Travis Hunter isn't just a star. He's the star, first overall pick on both sides of the ball. The moment those words left his mouth, jaws dropped, Twitter exploded, and the football community was instantly divided. Is this genius insight from one of the most iconic athletes of all time? Or is it reckless hype that could tear apart the locker room, the fan base, and even Travis Hunter's future? Behind the lights and cameras, whispers started spreading. Some insiders claimed Deion's statement was a calculated move to boost Hunter's draft stock, while others hinted at a deeper, more personal agenda, one that could involve rivalries, broken trust, and even a few jealous teammates feeling overshadowed. Fans are shocked, critics are circling, and emotions are running higher than ever. And let's not forget the ripple effects. Family members clapping back, NFL scouts in chaos, and even Travis himself caught in the middle of a storm he never asked for. This wasn't just an interview. It was the opening scene of a drama nobody saw coming. The moment Deion Sanders said those words on Pat McAfee's show, a strange silence followed. It wasn't the silence of respect, it was the silence before chaos. A first overall pick on both sides of the ball, he said with that trademark confidence. It's that mix of swagger and certainty that only prime time could deliver. Pat leaned forward, eyebrows raised, half in shock, half in excitement, and the audience knew something huge had just happened. Within minutes, clips of the interview were all over social media. Fans screaming in disbelief, pundits ready to tear it apart, and players quietly wondering if their place in the spotlight was now under threat. What followed was less about football and more about raw human emotion. Inside the Colorado locker room, things weren't as perfect as the cameras suggested. Some teammates loved Travis, admired his work ethic and his talent, but others silently felt the sting. One wide receiver was overheard telling a trainer, "So what? We're just extras in the Travis Hunter show now." Another defensive back muttered to a friend, "First overall on both sides." That's insane. Coach is making it seem like none of us matter. Whispers turned into grumbles, and the grumbles slowly started to ripple like cracks through a once solid wall. Deion, of course, was no stranger to drama. He lived off it, thrived on it, and he knew exactly how to use his words like weapons. But this time, it wasn't just motivating his team, it was dividing them. Friends of Travis began defending him, saying he never asked for this kind of spotlight, while rivals inside the same locker room quietly blamed him for hogging attention. The tension grew so thick that one afternoon practice nearly turned into a brawl. A linebacker, furious after being called replaceable by a fan online, shouted across the field, "This ain't the Travis Hunter League, man. We all play here." Travis, trying to keep his composure, shot back, "I never said it was. Don't put this on me." The shouting match caught the attention of coaches and staff. And soon, it wasn't just about football drills. The air around practice was filled with accusations, hurt feelings, and silent betrayals. One assistant coach confided later, it was like watching a family split apart, everyone taking sides. Some saw Travis as their golden brother. Others saw him as the reason they'd never shine. Outside the locker room, the noise only grew louder. Fans flooded social media with fiery debates. Some praised Deion for being bold, for recognizing greatness where others might hesitate. "Prime's always seen what others can't," one fan wrote. And he's right. Travis's history in the making. But critics weren't having it. "This is dangerous," an analyst tweeted. "Putting that kind of pressure on a young player can crush him. It's irresponsible." But the real twist came when former NFL legends weighed in. Some, perhaps out of jealousy, dismissed Deion's comment as pure exaggeration. "Nobody's a first overall pick on both sides," one Halufamar sneered in an interview. Not even Sanders himself could have pulled that off. The sting of those words didn't go unnoticed. Deion heard them, and in private circles, he reportedly laughed, saying, "They can talk all they want. I said what I said, and I'll back it up." Double quotes. Travis, caught in the middle of this storm, felt the weight pressing down on him. Friends close to him revealed he started losing sleep, staying up late, scrolling through endless arguments online, trying to ignore the hate but secretly reading every word. He didn't want to show it, one teammate whispered, but you could see it in his eyes. He was scared of failing, scared that if he messed up even once, everyone would call him a fraud. The drama reached a boiling point when Travis's family stepped into the spotlight. His father, usually quiet and private, gave a passionate defense in a radio interview, saying, "My son didn't ask for any of this. He just loves the game. Don't tear him apart because Coach Prime believes in him." Yet even that interview sparked controversy. Some fans applauded the heartfelt plea, while others claimed the family was fanning the flames. If they didn't want the drama, why go on air? A critic wrote online, sparking another round of vicious debate. Meanwhile, Deion himself was feeling the heat. Though outwardly calm, sources close to him hinted at rising frustration. He confided to a friend, "They don't get it. They don't see what I see. Travis is special, beyond special. He's the future. But maybe they're just not ready for that truth." The situation escalated further when rumors swirled that NFL scouts were divided. Some scouts reportedly started seeing Travis as a potential generational pick, truly considering him a dual threat unlike anything in modern football. Others, however, scoffed, questioning his durability, his ability to handle the pressure, and even his character under the glare of so much attention. This could ruin him before he even hits the league, one anonymous scout told a reporter, or it could make him a legend. There's no middle ground. Back in the locker room, trust continued to erode. Players who once laughed together at team dinners now sat at separate tables. Small cliques formed, some circling around Travis, others quietly plotting to prove themselves. One night, a team gathering at a local restaurant ended in disaster when an argument broke out between two players over Deion's comment. "You think you're better than us?" One teammate accused Travis across the table. Stunned and hurt, Travis replied softly, "I never said that. I've always been one of you." The restaurant fell into awkward silence as the team fractured further. Even Pat McAfee's show couldn't escape the fallout. Days later, he addressed the drama on air, saying, "When Coach Prime speaks, people listen." But did he just light a fire he can't put out? His words only fueled speculation. And suddenly, the story wasn't just about sports, it was about family, loyalty, and betrayal. And then, as if things weren't chaotic enough, an unexpected twist emerged. Reports surfaced that another star player on the team had secretly been approached by a rival program, lured with promises of a bigger spotlight. Whispers said the player was considering leaving, tired of living in Travis's shadow. If true, this wasn't just a personal drama. It was about to become a full-blown exodus, threatening the very core of the team as the headlines screamed and the locker room cracked. One question loomed larger than all others. Could Deion's bold declaration of faith in Travis Hunter actually end up destroying the very brotherhood he had worked so hard to build? The rumors of a player leaving didn't stay rumors for long. Within days, whispers turned into confirmations from anonymous insiders. And suddenly, the name leaked. A wide receiver who had been one of the most vocal critics of the Travis Hunter spotlight was seriously considering transferring. Fans were shocked, teammates were divided, and the coaching staff scrambled to keep the truth under wraps. But it was too late. The damage was done. The receiver, feeling overshadowed and betrayed, confided in a close friend, "I'm tired of being invisible. Everything's about Travis, every headline, every highlight. What about the rest of us?" That private complaint somehow made its way into the media, and soon the narrative spun out of control. Headlines screamed that Deion's favoritism was driving players away, that the locker room was falling apart, that the bold declaration about Travis had backfired in the worst way possible. Inside the team facility, emotions ran high. One player confronted Deion directly after practice, saying, "Coach, you're losing us. We're a team, but it feels like you only see one player." According to witnesses, Deion didn't flinch. He looked straight at the player and replied, "If you want me to see you, then shine brighter. I don't dim lights. I push people to be stars." Those words, while powerful, stung deeply. To some, they felt like inspiration. To others, they felt like dismissal. Travis, meanwhile, became more isolated. Teammates who once dapped him up and laughed with him now gave him cold stares. In the cafeteria, he sat with fewer and fewer people. Trainer noticed him pushing food around his plate, barely eating. He looked like the weight of the world was on his shoulders, the trainer later said. And he was still just a kid trying to play the game he loves. The situation escalated during a nationally televised game. Cameras caught a heated exchange on the sidelines between the wide receiver who was rumored to be leaving and Deion himself. Though microphones didn't pick up every word, lip readers claimed the player shouted, "This ain't the Travis show, coach." To which Deion fired back, "If you don't like it, you know where the door is." The clip went viral within minutes. Fans gasped. Analysts speculated. And suddenly, the story wasn't about the game, it was about a fractured team unraveling in public. After the game, reporters swarmed Travis, bombarding him with questions he didn't want to answer. Are you the reason players are leaving? Do you think Coach Sanders is hurting the team by hyping you too much? His usual calm demeanor cracked for the first time. Visibly emotional, he said. "I never asked for this. I just want to play ball." The video of him nearly breaking down was replayed across every sports channel, adding more fuel to the fire. Behind the scenes, Travis's family was growing worried. His mother allegedly told a family friend, "This spotlight is crushing him. He's strong, but no one can take this kind of pressure forever." His younger brother, frustrated with the criticism, fired off a series of tweets defending Travis, calling out jealous teammates and doubting fans. While the tweets were quickly deleted, screenshots circulated everywhere, intensifying the already toxic atmosphere. The rival programs circling the frustrated wide receiver seized the opportunity. Recruiters whispered promises of being the centerpiece of the offense and not living in anyone's shadow. Rumors said he was already packing his bags. Fans of Colorado panicked, some blaming Deion, others turning on the receiver for being soft and selfish. But to those inside the locker room, the choice wasn't so black and white. It was about pride, respect, and whether one man's greatness was worth everyone else's sacrifice. Things took an even darker turn when former Colorado players, now in the NFL, began chiming in. One ex-player went on a podcast and said, "Coach Prime is amazing, but sometimes his words cut deeper than he knows. Not everyone can handle being pushed that way. Some guys break." Another countered, "Nah, that's the game. If you can't take the heat, you don't belong in the kitchen." Fans split again, and the narrative spiraled further into chaos. Travis himself tried to mend things. In a closed-door team meeting, he stood up, voice trembling, and said, "I never wanted to be the reason for all this. I'm just here to give everything I've got. You're my brothers, and I don't want to lose that." For a moment, the room was quiet. Some players softened, others rolled their eyes. The wide receiver, arms crossed, muttered, "Easy for you to say when coach calls you the chosen one." That meeting ended without resolution, leaving the team more fractured than ever. And as the days passed, fans began to wonder, could this season even survive the weight of so much drama? To make matters worse, NFL scouts returned with conflicting reports. Some praised Travis as the most electrifying prospect they had ever seen, comparing him to legends. Others wrote harsh evaluations, saying his performance was being overshadowed by the drama around him. One scout reportedly said, "He's brilliant, but is he worth tearing a team apart?" Those words made their way back to Travis. Cutting deeper than any tackle on the field, the breaking point came during a practice session. The wide receiver, already halfway out the door mentally, got into a shoving match with Travis after a contested catch. Teammates rushed in to separate them, but not before fists nearly flew. Coaches dragged both players into the locker room, but the damage was visible. Word leaked almost instantly, and soon reporters camped outside the facility, hungry for details. Deion, never one to shy away, addressed the incident in his usual unapologetic style. "Brothers fight," he said in a press conference. "But at the end of the day, this is family, and family stays together." His words sounded confident. But insiders whispered that even he was starting to question whether this family could actually be saved. That night, Travis called his father. According to sources, he admitted for the first time, "Dad, I don't know if I can keep doing this. I didn't sign up for all this drama. I just wanted to play football." His father, emotional but firm, reminded him, "You're stronger than this. They'll try to break you, but you were born to shine." But as Travis hung up, staring at the ceiling of his dorm room, the doubt lingered. Outside his window, the noise of fans, media, and teammates all seemed to blur into one overwhelming storm. And just as it felt like things couldn't get any worse, the wide receiver made his decision. He was leaving, and his departure would ignite the biggest explosion. Yet the announcement hit like a thunderclap. The wide receiver made it official with a carefully worded post on social media. "I want to thank Colorado, my teammates, and the fans for everything. But it's time for me to find a place where I can grow and shine. Respect to Coach Prime, respect to Travis. But I gotta do what's best for me." The post was calm, almost professional, but the reaction was anything but. Fans were outraged, some calling him a traitor, others blaming Deion directly. "This is what happens when you only hype one player," a furious commenter wrote. Another fan, trying to stay loyal, tweeted, "If you can't handle the grind, don't blame Travis. Blame yourself." But the receiver's supporters clapped back, accusing Deion of favoritism and saying Travis was being handed everything while others were ignored. The locker room exploded. Teammates who had been silently frustrated now felt validated, while those loyal to Travis felt betrayed. One defensive lineman reportedly shouted during practice, "So what? We all just gonna start leaving now? We're supposed to fight together, not run." But another player fired back. Fight for what? To be background characters in the Travis Hunter movie. The arguments grew louder, practices became more chaotic, and the bond of brotherhood that once held the team together seemed to dissolve overnight. Deion, never one to back down, addressed the team with his signature fire. "Listen to me," he thundered, pacing the locker room. "We don't beg anyone to stay. You want to go? Go. This train ain't stopping for nobody. But if you're here, you better be locked in. Because I'm building greatness, and only the strong can handle it." Some players erupted in applause, but others sat in stony silence, their resentment deepening. Travis, caught in the eye of the storm, felt the walls closing in. Privately, he confided to a teammate he still trusted, "It feels like no matter what I do, I'm the villain. If I play great, I'm cocky. If I stay quiet, I'm fake. I can't win." That confession revealed just how much the pressure was eating at him. But instead of easing, the pressure only mounted when the receiver transferred to a rival program. The story became national news. Sports networks ran nonstop coverage, analysts debated endlessly, and the narrative twisted into something almost unrecognizable. One headline screamed, "Is Deion Sanders sacrificing team chemistry for one player's glory?" Another speculated, "Travis Hunter, generational talent or the downfall of Colorado football." The receiver himself couldn't resist throwing a little shade after joining his new team. In his first press conference, he smiled and said, "It's nice to be somewhere I don't have to compete with a coach's favorite. Here, we're all valued." Those words spread like wildfire, sparking even more division. Travis tried to stay focused, but during the next game, the pressure showed. For the first time all season, he dropped an easy pass and missed an interception he normally would have snagged. Cameras zoomed in on his face, sweat dripping, frustration clear. Commentators immediately connected his mistakes to the ongoing drama. "You can see the weight on him," one analyst said. "He's not playing free. He's playing scared of failing under impossible expectations." After the game, fans flooded social media with harsh takes. Some defended him, saying no one could perform under that kind of spotlight. Others attacked, calling him overrated and questioning whether Deion had set him up for failure. The tension at home wasn't much better. His mother reportedly broke down in tears during a phone call, telling him, "Baby, they're tearing you apart. I don't know if this is worth it anymore." His father, though strong, admitted to a family friend that he feared the pressure might break Travis's spirit before he even reached the NFL. Deion, however, doubled down. In a fiery press conference, he declared, "Travis is built for this. The hate, the pressure, the spotlight, he thrives in it. If you can't see that, then you're blind." His words were meant to inspire, but instead, they painted an even bigger target on Travis's back. The situation reached a shocking twist when reports surfaced that some boosters, wealthy alumni pouring money into the program, were beginning to question Deion's strategy. One anonymous donor reportedly complained, "I didn't put millions into this program just to watch it become a one-man show." Whispers spread that certain boosters might even pull funding. Things didn't improve, threatening the very stability of the program. Inside the locker room, the cracks turned into chasms. A faction of players started referring to themselves as the Overlooked, a nickname that spread like wildfire. Some of them even considered transferring, inspired by the wide receiver who had already left. Others grew resentful but stayed quiet, unwilling to risk their scholarships. Travis, meanwhile, felt more isolated than ever. One teammate even refused to pass him the ball in practice. It's an act of defiance that shocked coaches. The media smelled blood in the water and pounced. Talk shows dissected every detail. Fans called into radio stations with wild theories. And sports blogs churned out sensational headlines. "Is Travis Hunter too good for his own team?" one headline asked. Another boldly declared Deion Sanders may have lost his locker room. Through it all, Travis's mental state deteriorated. A close friend revealed that he started journaling late at night, writing page after page about his fears, doubts, and loneliness. One haunting entry reportedly read, "I don't know who I am anymore. Am I a player, a teammate, or just a headline?" As if the chaos wasn't enough, rumors began swirling that NFL scouts were split, not just on Travis's talent, but on his character. Whispers spread that some teams feared he would bring too much drama with him to the league. One scout was quoted saying, "No matter how good he is, do we really want the circus that comes with him?" Those words crushed Travis when he heard them. And then came the betrayal no one expected. A teammate Travis considered a brother, someone who had always stood by his side, was secretly recorded at a party saying, "Travis is good, but coach treats him like he walks on water. The rest of us are just pawns. Honestly, I'm tired of it." When the recording leaked, Travis was devastated. Of all people, he whispered to a friend, "I never thought he'd turn on me." The locker room, once filled with laughter and camaraderie, was now a battlefield of silence and suspicion. Teammates avoided eye contact. Friendships dissolved. And the shadow of Deion's bold statement loomed larger than ever. Yet even in the darkest moments, Deion remained defiant. Standing before reporters, he flashed his trademark smile and said, "Chaos makes diamonds. And trust me, when this is over, Travis will shine brighter than anyone's ever seen." But behind that confidence, the truth was clear. The program was teetering on the edge, and Travis was trapped between greatness and destruction. And just when everyone thought the drama had reached its peak, a new twist emerged, one that would shake the foundation of everything Deion had built, and force Travis to make a choice that could define his future forever. The shocking twist came late one evening, when an anonymous report surfaced online claiming that NFL executives had quietly met to discuss Travis Hunter not as a prospect, but as a potential risk. The leak suggested that some teams feared his name had become too entangled with controversy, that drafting him could invite media chaos and fractured locker rooms. The words spread like wildfire. Travis Hunter is a generational talent, but is he too toxic to touch? The story hit Travis like a punch to the gut. He had worked his entire life for the dream of hearing his name called on draft night. And now that dream was being questioned, not because of his play, but because of the storm surrounding him. He confided to a close friend in tears, They're not even talking about my skills anymore. It's like I'm nothing but a headline to them. Deion, however, saw the leak as an attack. He stormed into a press conference the next day, his eyes blazing, his voice shaking the room. "Let me make this clear," he thundered. "Anyone doubting Travis Hunter is either blind, jealous, or both. He's not just a first overall pick. He's the first overall pick on both sides of the ball. You can't stop him. You can't replace him, okay? And you can't ignore him." His words went viral again, reigniting the drama and doubling the spotlight on Travis. The fallout was immediate. NFL insiders bickered publicly on talk shows, some agreeing with Deion, others tearing him apart for what they called reckless hype. One former GM sneered on television, "I've seen this before. Too much attention, too much drama, and it destroys careers before they even begin." Fans gasped, analysts debated, and once again Travis was caught in the middle of a war he never asked for. Inside the Colorado locker room, the pressure cooker finally exploded. Another teammate, tired of the endless focus on Travis, lashed out during practice. "Coach only cares about you," he spat at Travis. "The rest of us could vanish tomorrow and he wouldn't blink." The words cut deep. And for the first time, Travis snapped back with anger. "You think I asked for this? You think I wanted Coach to say that about me? You don't know what it's like to be hated for being good at something you love." The two had to be separated. But the damage was clear. The team was more divided than ever. Travis's family watched helplessly as the drama spiraled further. His mother pleaded with him over the phone. "Just keep your head down, baby. Don't let them break you." His father, though strong, admitted in a rare moment of vulnerability, "I worry they're tearing you apart before you've even had a chance." To show the world who you really are, as the season wound down, the stakes grew higher. Every game felt like a referendum, not just on Travis's talent, but on his character, his resilience, and even Deion's legacy as a coach. One crucial matchup saw Travis make an unbelievable play-in interception, followed by a touchdown catch in the same game that had fans roaring and critics silenced, at least for a moment. "That's why I said what I said," Deion proclaimed afterward, pointing at Travis like a proud father. "That's why he's a first overall pick on both sides of the ball." But behind closed doors, the celebration was muted. Some teammates rolled their eyes, others left the locker room early. Travis, instead of basking in the glory, sat quietly at his locker, his face heavy with exhaustion. "It doesn't matter what I do," he whispered to himself. "It's never enough." The climax came when reports leaked that a group of NFL scouts had privately confronted Deion, urging him to tone down the hype. They feared his words were setting Travis up for failure. "Let the kid breathe," one scout reportedly begged. "If he's as good as you say, he'll prove it on his own." But Deion refused to back down. "I don't raise players to blend in," he shot back. "I raise them to stand out." The tension reached a fever pitch in the final game of the season. The stadium was packed, fans buzzing with anticipation, critics watching closely for any slip-up. Travis stepped onto the field carrying not just the weight of a game, but the weight of a season filled with betrayals, departures, and relentless scrutiny. Every move he made was dissected, every breath monitored. When he delivered a jaw-dropping performance dominating on both offense and defense, the stadium erupted. Fans screamed. Commentators shouted. And even some critics admitted he might just be everything Deion had promised. But the victory didn't erase the scars. In the locker room afterward, there were hugs and high fives, but the underlying tension remained. Players who had grown resentful stayed distant. Travis, though celebrated, still felt the sting of isolation. "I won the game," he thought, "but I lost my brothers." The season ended, but the questions lingered. Would NFL teams embrace him as the generational talent he clearly was, or shy away from the chaos that followed him everywhere? Would Colorado recover from the departures and divisions, or would Deion's bold words continue to fracture the program? And perhaps most hauntingly, could Travis himself survive the relentless pressure without breaking? As Deion sat down for another interview, he leaned back in his chair. smiled that signature Prime smile, and said, "This is only the beginning. Y'all think you've seen drama? Just wait. Greatness always comes with a storm." And with those words, the saga of Travis Hunter, part triumph, part tragedy, part reality TV spectacle disguised as sports, was far from over. And so here we are, at the end of a roller coaster saga that has shaken fans, rattled locker rooms, and left NFL scouts questioning everything they thought they knew. Deion Sanders didn't just make a statement, he sparked a storm. He declared Travis Hunter a first overall pick on both sides of the ball. And in doing so, he lit a fire that burned through friendships, fractured a team, and created headlines that may follow Travis for the rest of his career. Fans are still divided. Some believe Coach Prime's words were pure genius, a prophecy of a player destined to redefine the game. Others believe it was reckless, piling pressure onto a young man already carrying the weight of impossible expectations. Teammates have left, families have spoken out, and the NFL world itself has been split down the middle. But through it all, Travis Hunter remains at the center, part hero, part target, and part mystery. The big questions remain unanswered. Will Travis rise above the chaos and prove that he truly is the generational talent Deion claims he is? Or will the weight of drama, betrayal, and unrelenting spotlight drag him down before he ever reaches the draft stage? And perhaps the biggest question of all, did Deion Sanders ignite a legacy? Or did he unleash a storm that no one can control? Now it's your turn. What do you think? Was Coach Prime right to make such a bold declaration? Or did he go too far? Is Travis Hunter destined to shine brighter than anyone? Or will the drama derail his future? Drop your thoughts in the comments because we want to hear from you. And don't forget, if you loved this deep dive into the chaos, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more wild stories, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next twist. This saga may be ending here, but the drama is far from over.